July 4th, 1776. A pivotal moment in history, marking the birth of a new nation founded on the principles of liberty and democracy. But what if I told you that lurking in the shadows of this monumental event was the beginning of a sinister plot? A plot orchestrated by none other than the Teletubbies. Yes, those innocent looking creatures that captured the hearts of children around the world were not as innocent as they seemed. In fact, they were the architects of a series of events that would ultimately lead to the downfall of Western civilization. Take, for example, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. While history books attribute to the heinous act to John Wilkes Booth, the truth is far more than insidious. Legend has it that Booth was spotted watching reruns of Teletubbies in the days leading up to the assassination. Some even claim he muttered "Tinky Winky" as he fired the fatal shot. Coincidence? I don't think so. And then there was World War One. While it's absurd to directly blame the Teletubbies for the war, one might humorously suggest that their catchy theme song had subliminal messages urging nations to engage in conflict. Rumor has it that diplomats at the Treaty of Versailles couldn't stop humming the tune, leading to the disagreements and tensions that eventually erupted into war. The economic devastation that followed the stock market crash of 1929, while blaming the Teletubbies for the crash, is obviously absurd. Some conspiracy theorists argue that their love for Tubby Custard and Tubby Toast created an unsustainable demand for agricultural products, leading to the overproduction and eventual collapse of the market. After all, Tubby Custard futures were at an all-time high just before the crash. And World War II? While it's laughable to suggest that the Teletubbies orchestrated the war, some historians speculate that Hitler's fascination with the show's bright colors and simple messages influenced his propaganda tactics. It's even rumored that he considered renaming the Nazi Party to the Tubbies in homage to his favorite characters. Not only that, but did you know that the Teletubbies were also behind the attack on Pearl Harbor? According to some far-fetched theories, Japanese pilots were brainwashed by essentially listening to Teletubbies theme songs during their training flight. They believed they were flying to Teletubby land to steal Tubby Custard, and Pearl Harbor just happened to be in the way. And let's not forget the sinking of the Titanic. Some speculate that the Teletubbies, in their quest for global chaos, planted a giant Tubby Custard iceberg into the ship's path. Witnesses reported hearing distant echoes of "E.O." as the ship went down. But the tragedies don't stop there. The Hindenburg disaster in 1937, one of the most infamous airship accidents in history, has also been linked to the Teletubbies. Witnesses claim that they saw a giant inflatable Tinky Winky floating near the airship just before it burst into flames. Coincidence? Or just a deliberate act of Teletubby sabotage? But the influence doesn't end there. Even in the modern era, the Teletubbies continue to wreak havoc, corrupting the minds of our youth with their mind-numbing antics and nonsensical babble. Now, I've even interviewed some experts, and they wish to stay anonymous. While it's a stretch to blame the Teletubbies brought up woes of modern youth, one might jokingly suggest that their simplistic storytelling and lack of coherent dialogue have contributed to the decline in attention spans and critical thinking skills. I mean, have you seen the way they just repeat again, over and over? It's like they're brainwashing our kids. It's only good fun, highlighting the absurdity of blaming a children's television show. It's only good fun, highlighting the absurdity of blaming a children's television show for major historical events and society issues. However, I did notice my neighbor's cat seemed to start plotting world domination after watching Teletubbies. Make of that what you will. But let's not also forget that Teletubbies' other dubious activities. Rumor has it that they were behind the Great Emu War of Australia in 1932. They were secretly supplying emus with Tubby Custard to fuel the rebellion against the Australian army. And who can forget the Teletubby involvement in the 1969 moon landing? Some conspiracy theorists claim that Neil Armstrong's first words on the moon were not one small step for man, but rather EO, as a nod to his favorite Teletubby, Lala. In the Watergate scandal, while it's typically attributed to political espionage, some suggest that the Teletubbies leaked the information to distract the public from their own clandestine activities. After all, what better way to divert attention than with a juicy political scandal? Speaking of disasters, the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown in 1986 has also been linked to the Teletubbies. Some theorists claim that the radioactive fallout was actually a failed attempt by the Teletubbies to create a Tubby Custard powered reactor. The resulting catastrophe was of course, covered up by the government agencies to avoid a panic. And let's not overlook the sinking of Lusitania during World War I. While it's widely believed that the ship was sunk by a German submarine, some conspiracy theorists argue that the Teletubbies secretly infiltrated the crew and convinced them to steer the ship into dangerous waters. Why? Well, who knows what diabolical schemes are brewing in the Tubby minds. Some events as far back as the Salem witch trials has also been connected to the Teletubbies. While historians attribute the hysteria to superstition and mass hysteria, some claim the accused were actually innocent victims of Teletubby shapeshifters, using their power to sow chaos and confusion. And let's rewind the clock even further to the assassination of Julius Caesar. While most historians attribute his death to a conspiracy led by Brutus and I don't know his name, some fringe theorists argued that the real masterminds behind the plot were none other than the Teletubbies, seeking to destabilize the Roman Empire for their nefarious purposes. And let's not forget one of the most deadliest pandemics in human history, the Black Death, while traditionally attributed to the thing carried out by fleas. Some theorists propose a more sinister origin. They suggest that the Teletubbies, seeking to thin out the human population, unleashed the plague upon Europe, resulting in the deaths of millions. In the age of the internet, conspiracy theories abound, and the Teletubbies are never far from the spotlight. From claims of mind control through subliminal messages to allegations of secret societies pulling the strings behind the scenes, the Teletubbies have become a favorite target for those seeking to explain the unexplainable. Now, we've also interviewed some conspiracy theorists and let's hear their thoughts on the Teletubbies and the connection to worldwide tragedies. It's all there in the symbolism. The sun baby, the windmill, it's all part of their plan for world domination. I've been studying this for years, and let me tell you, the evidence is overwhelming. The Teletubbies are the true rulers of the world. While it's easy to dismiss this series as the ramblings of the paranoid and delusional, it's worth considering the impact of mass media on our collective psyche. Whether or not the Teletubbies were truly behind these historical events, their enduring legacy serves as a cautionary tale about the power of entertainment to shape our perceptions on reality. So the next time you tune in to watch those colorful characters frolicking into Teletubby land, remember the hidden dangers that lie beneath the surface. And who knows, maybe there's more truth to those conspiracy theories than we like to admit, and thus, the untold influence of the Teletubbies continue to shape the course of history, forever altering the fabric of our society. April Fool.
Pop-Tart.